Làm gì disturb my life.
Hi, Max, can you hear me?
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome. I know it's like 2 minutes to 6 o'clock. Okay, so please help us reach out to your friends who are not here already. Kindly share the link with them for them to join us. Hi, Benis. Hi. And you guys, go and dress up. Wear fine clothes because towards the end of this video, we are going to ask you guys to turn on your videos so we can take good pictures. Yeah. Okay, so please let's also prepare our questions. Our facilitators will be here soon. We have one of them here already. So please, as much as you can, reach out to your friends, share the link with them. We're supposed to be over 100 people here. I'm wondering why we are just in 7. So please, let's keep sharing the link. I'll also do that from my end. So let's give them 5 minutes grace. All right, thank you. Okay, so good evening, everyone. I think all our guests are here now. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is our first official meeting after the last one we had in September, I guess. And this one will be a weekly one, right? So who's going to pray for us? Should I pray? And by the way, you guys are looking beautiful, my amazing guests. I'm smiling. Look at their beautiful and handsome faces. I'm so happy that you guys made this happen. Thank you for making our time to be in here tonight. I truly, truly appreciate you guys. So let me pray quickly. Father, in Jesus' name, we commit tonight's meeting into your able hands. Take charge, help us. Even as you did it for us, please do it for these applicants that we are, offering mentorship and guiding on this path. In Jesus' name we have prayed. Amen. So I'm sorry for those who are not Christians. That's the best way I could have prayed. And let's move on. I want this meeting to be as fast as possible. And I wouldn't be the only one talking. Yes, I can see our comments. Thank you. And like I said, please share this link for more persons to join. We are just 67. We're supposed to be in hundreds, There are thousands of people who apply for this scholarship every year. So don't hide this news. Share to your friends, share to your enemies, share to your family for them to join us on this call. And as time goes on, as I see maybe any of our alumni or our present scholars, I'm still going to recognize them. And before I go forward, I'll just do a quick introduction of myself. Many of you have probably been seeing my name on the Telegram group. My name is Janet. I'm a current Chevening scholar at the University of Success. I'm studying international education and development. And being here is a testament of community of people who believed in me and saw me through this journey, and which is the more reason why I'm giving my time to ensuring that we help as many people as possible. So without further ado, I would like to introduce our guests. I will not speak for them, they will speak for themselves. So I'll just call their name and they will introduce themselves to you, okay? So the first person I can see, and the first person who came early, and we're going to clap for her for coming in first. Let's put our hands together for Miss Ruby. Can you
Hi,
unmute?
everyone. Good evening. I'm so happy to be here. My name is Ruby Uche, and I am a 2024-2025 Chevening Scholar, studying sustainable finance and accounting at the University of Sussex.
Thank you, Ruby.
Thank
All
you.
right. So the next person that came in that I saw is Victory. So Mr. Victory, introduce yourself.
Hello everyone. Confirm you can hear me. Right, awesome. My name is Victory Ojating and I'm a current Chevening scholar at the University of Leeds and I'm studying for a master's in food science and nutrition. I am so excited to be here. Last year I was also in the same position as most of us are right now. And I'm hopeful that through the session today we'll be able to impact some knowledge that would help us gain access to the Chevening scholarship. Right.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Victory. The next person I saw was Lucy. Lucy, introduce yourself.
Hi, Janet. Hi, everyone. Nice to be here today. And thank you, all of the other guests who are here to really contribute and, tell all the honest journeys we all pass through to come here. I hope we will have a very good discussion and different insights from everyone. And we'll have, mostly engaging kind of conversation today as well. So thank you, Janet. I'll see you.
You've not told us what you're studying at your school.
Oh, sorry. I only talked about today's. So I am 2024-2025 Chevening Scholar. I'm at the University of Sussex studying business and development.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
The final guest is Mr. Emmanuel. Can you introduce yourself?
Hello everyone, good evening. My name is Emmanuel. I'm studying cybersecurity and pen testing at the Middlesex University. So I actually came before Ruby, but women supporting women, I understand, but it's fine. So to all our Chevening applicants, do everything you can to win this opportunity. Do everything you can to win this. Um, I hope you find this few moments here very insightful and ask all the questions you can, so you can get all the answers you can. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you so much. Forgive me. It was Ruby I saw first. Okay, I don't want to talk too much or waste your time because I know you guys have loads of questions. And many people started asking questions on the group today. And I said, just write down your questions and bring it here tonight so that my friends and I will help you answer your questions. So let me just do a little briefing on what Chevening Scholarship is about for those of us who do not know or who are probably just seeing the opportunity for the first time and are interested. So Chevening Scholarship is a prestigious, I say prestigious. So if you're a Chevening scholar, I mean that you're a special person because this scholarship is actually very competitive. Say, for example, every year over 7,000 or 10,000, 11,000 people just from Nigeria alone apply. That's for those of us who are from Nigeria. Because this is a global audience and it's not just for Nigerians, I'm going to be speaking in the broader spectrum of things. So in the global space, over 60,000 people apply from different parts of the world. So Chevening is in as much as over 100 countries. So whatever country you're in, you could do your research and check if Chevening is a partner country for your country. So it's not just Nigeria or Africa, it's for different parts of the world. That's the first thing I'll say. And I say it's also prestigious because you are coming to the UK. You are not studying from your country or you're studying online. You're studying physically, things that you've seen on TV, beautiful places that you've always dreamt of being at. You're going to see them when you finally come to the UK. And it's funded by the Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office for a 1-year master's degree. So you are not coming here to do your undergraduate or PhD because I've gotten many questions. Is it PhD? Is it undergraduate? No, it's just for a 1-year master's scholarship. So basically that's an overview of what Chevening is, and it's fully funded. So Chevening is paying your school fee, giving you monthly stipend, they are paying your flight, they are literally doing everything for you. So you're just coming to enjoy yourself, which is why we are encouraging you to pay the price now. So what I want you to put in your mind is to imagine somebody is giving you over 30,000 or 40,000 pounds. Convert that in your currency and think of how much that is. So that should be one of your driving force to put in your best into getting this scholarship, because it's a lot of money, it's a lot of investment, and nobody wants to throw money around. They want to put their money, invest their money in the lives of people who they believe will give them good returns. Okay, so I think I'm talking too much. My throat is already paining me. Okay. For the eligibility criteria, you have to have done your undergraduate, maybe graduate today. People are asking me, is it only 2-1 first class? No, whether you have a first class, a 2-1 or a 2-2, you can apply for Chevening scholarship. And there's a terms and condition apply. There are terms and conditions applied to it, which is the fact that after your study for that 1 year, you have to come back to your country to implement everything that you've learned, because part of what you're going to be stating in your essays, your career plan essay, telling the committee that, if you fund my education with this money, I'm going to come back to my country and make things better, makes life better for whatever audience you're catering for. Okay, so let me go. My throat. This is a lot. Okay, so the next part is talk about the 4 essays, which I'm sure if you are really serious about getting this scholarship, probably would have known by now that you are supposed to write 4 500 words essays. So in total, that's 2,000 words, yeah? So 500 for leadership, for networking, for studying in the UK. That's why you want to study in the UK, and your career plans. And beautifully, my friends here will be taking each of those essays. They'll tell you everything you need to know about each of those essays, because those are your essays are the major parts that will decide whether you'll be invited for an interview. And I forgot to say that after this phase, when you've submitted your application, if your application goes through, you are going to be invited for an interview where you are going to really come, let them see you face to face, that everything you said in your essay is actually what you've done and or what you intend to do. So let me go straight into the first essay. And Miss Ruby is going to be taking that for us, and that is the leadership essay. Everything you need to know about leadership essay, how you can structure your essays and all. So please clap your virtual hands as we welcome Miss Ruby. I can't see us clapping.
Thank you, Janet. Thank you, everyone. Okay, so let's get right into it. As Janet said by now, I'm very sure all of us here know that we are for the Chevening application, you need about 4 essays, and each of those 4 essays are equally as important, right? There's no one that has like higher grading or higher marks than the other one. So they're equally as important, and you have to put in as much effort as, across all of them, because they all should come together to tell a story, right? A story that, puts you in a position of being eligible for this highly prestigious scholarship that Janet has rightly explained. Okay, so I would be taking the leadership essay. And what I'd like to say is that I, in my own opinion, I think the 4 essays are broken down into 2. The leadership and the networking focuses more on your past, right? So you're going to be doing more of reflection in the leadership essay, and then the career essay and the study in the UK is talking more about your future plans. So for your leadership essay, I think you need to put on your reflection cap. That's what I'm going to call it, and look back to your past and be able to think about those times when you have made impact. So I would quickly digress to what I would call the definition of what does leadership mean to you. I think a lot of times when I've seen some people's, I've been fortunate or privileged to be assisting some scholars, some prospective scholars, to review their essays and all of that. And when I do, it helps me understand that there's a lot of misconception around how to go about your leadership essay. First of all, you're not supposed to go and download the definition of leadership from Merriam-Webster dictionary and then put in there, right? So what they want to do is they want to know what leadership means to you in particular. So leadership may mean different things to different people, but they want to know what it means to you, and also want to know if in whatever capacity you have occupied in the past, have been able to demonstrate that's your definition or your idea of leadership, and have been able to transform it into impacting your nearest, your neighborhood, your church, your university, or your place of work, right? So in whatever stage you are at, right, do not think that there's a specific type of leadership experience that they are looking for, that if you don't have this, if you have not done this on a global scale or a global stage, you are not qualified to apply for the Chevening scholarship. So they're all about impact. And I think they are the ones that will decide what kind of impact cuts it for them or not. Yours is to try your best as much as possible to, communicate what you've been up to, right? And I believe we've all been up to something. At every point in our lives, I'm sure we have done something, that is worth emulating, something that has been impactful, something that has provided value to your nearest community or neighborhood. Right. So yeah, in my essay, I defined leadership, right? And I did not, while I was preparing my essay, while I was thinking of, how to go about it, I think I came across over 100 definitions of leadership. Different people saying different things. So leadership is, taking up a position, leadership is this, leadership is that. And then I found the one that resonated the most to me, which is, it was just a very short, it's a three-word sentence. Leadership is servanthood. Janet, sorry, how many minutes do I have? So I'll know how to be very careful with my time.
You had about 15 minutes, but I think you've used 5 minutes already, so you have 10 minutes.
Oh, okay. So to me, that was the summary of what leadership meant, right? And that was the notion I wanted to set in my essay. And that was my first line, right? And that was because I knew that that sentence alone was paradoxical, right? The first thing that comes to your mind when you hear leadership is like, somebody in the front, somebody who is leading, maybe a king or a leader or a team lead. And then I go ahead to say, oh, leadership is servanthood. I mean, I wanted the person reading the essays to say, what is this girl talking about? What does she mean by leadership is servanthood? But that is actually the truth. So if in any position, you've been able to provide service, you've been able to solve a problem, right, from whatever position you are, you don't have to be like the team lead, you don't have to be like the head of something. So just to trying to correct that notion that you must be occupying a very giant role to make an impact. So now I'll move to having clarified that you do not need to have a title of a boss or a leader to qualify to apply, and as long as you're able to put down what you've done, the problem you'll be able to solve, and the impact that it has made, in your community or wherever, you're more than qualified to apply for the Chevening Scholarship. Now I will move to the techniques, right? So for me, I think your leadership essay should start with an opening hook. Now, what I call an opening hook could be anything, but it should have a punch, right? I know you know, or if you don't know, I'll be saying it now that, your essays are your first point of contact. They're not going to see you. They're not going to see your fine face. They're not going to be seeing your passion. They're not going to be seeing, they don't know who you are. I mean, it's blind assessment. So the only thing they have to judge you by is that essay. So if I were you, I will put all of my, I would make sure that my first paragraph has what it takes to keep the reader or whoever is assessing it interested in going further to see what is actually in your essays, right? So make sure that your opening hook is something that is really catchy. It could be a definition of leadership, it could be your experiences, but just make sure that you've got the reader or the assessor like wanting to read more, to know about your experiences. Then after your opening hook, I think the next thing should be your the first example, right? And I'll say something about chronology. I believe that your essay should have coherence, right? You can't go from, in 2021, then you move to 1995, then you come back to 2023. You should tell a story, right? If you are able to tell a story, you have a better chance. Storytelling is what actually gives you that extra advantage, right? Because if you're able to tell the story, portray it well, then the reader can also come along with you and see reasons why you should be shortlisted, right? So make sure you time you arrange your timelines. For me, I started from the most recent. So let's say I currently work as a project manager, and I started from that. Now that was easy for me because I was naturally occupying a leadership role in my company, so it was easy to just pen down, this is what I've been doing, this is the problems I experienced, or these are the problems I experienced when I got into this company, and I knew there was a need for this, and then I decided to take action. I did this and this and this, and at the end of the day, this was what I was able to achieve. So that is STAR approach I just mentioned here, right? Calling out the situation, listing out the task, and then the action you took, and then the results. So make sure you remember the STAR approach because it helps you outline, your impact. The STAR approach is very helpful in, pointing out problems you solved, because then you have the opportunity to actually paint the picture of the problem and then paint the steps you took towards achieving them. I've also talked about chronology, so make sure you're either going from earliest to latest or latest to earliest. I would advise latest to earliest to latest. That's from now to maybe from 2024, then you go back 2022 or 2023, because that way the reader is able to, you put the most important leadership example first. So if your leadership example was your strongest leadership example was 2 years ago, do well to put that at the first. Don't go put the most important one at the last, because you don't know if the assessor or the reader would be reading till the end, right? So you need to put your best foot forward. That's what I'm going to say here. So you need to know which of your examples are the strongest. And when you are trying to, do the reflection, make sure you pen down all your examples first. If you have 6 examples or 7 examples, pen them down. And then as time goes on, you begin to say, okay, this one is, if you weigh them, put them on the scale and say, this example is more, is weightier than this one. This one will give me more points. This one will give me more points. At the end of the day, you can now shortlist and say, okay, I'm going to go with these examples, because at the end of the day, you cannot put in all your examples into your essay. It's a very short essay, as you already know. So you have to be very, very stingy with your words. So you pick the examples that are the most weighty, and then you use them. So it could be 3, it could be 4. I believe 4 is actually too much for a 500-word essay, but it should not be less than 2. 2 is even because you need to show that you've done as much as you can, right? So 3, I had 3 examples, at least for me, in my essay, and I went chronologically from 2024 to 2023 to what I did back in school. Also, be wary enough to know that the more recent your examples, the better your chances. Do not go and put, your examples are, your leadership examples are stuff you did in 2019, because then that begs the question, what have you been doing from 2019 till now? Have you been idle? Does it mean that you've not been making impact? So it's in your best interest to make sure that all of the examples are recent examples, at least most of them are recent examples of things you've been doing in the recent time, even currently as this cycle, this application cycle is going to an end, right? So yeah, that is literally what I'm with. And then there's the closing paragraph where you reiterate how the Chevening Scholarship itself would now, give you the platform to amplify, right? So mind you, you have to have been doing something before. That's what they're interested in, to know that you've been making impact. But, if given a bigger network, if given a wider platform, that impact will now multiply, be able to reach more people. So that's what they call the ripple effect, right? How, if they invest in you, how many more people are likely to benefit from the investment, right? So that is where that's where you emphasize on that in your closing sentence. Or if given the Chevening Scholarship, this is what I'm going to do, and this is how people are going to benefit from it, and all of that. Janet, is my time over, or do we still have time? Janet, do I still have a few minutes, or am I done? I can't hear you.
Jenna, you're muted.
I was hoping that you've done excellent. Just for the few minutes we have left, can you just give us like a practical example so they can wrap their head around what?
Okay, a practical leadership example, isn't it? Okay, all right. So I'll give an example of so I literally earlier said that I currently work as a project manager for a fintech company based in the UK. And as a project manager, of course, you're expected to lead projects, which means you're going to lead people and coordinate people to handle projects, or to deliver a budget, or to deliver a project on time and on delivery, those kind of things, right? So that automatically puts me in the position of a leader. That's literally what I do on a daily, bring people together to meet a certain goal. So I think my example was when I joined this company, I noticed that, there were some loopholes in the project management system. And you know that when there is no management tool, right, there's disorganization, people are not coordinated. And what that does is it reduces, the revenue, because you cannot achieve something. You have turnaround time, very slow turnaround time. You have decline in revenue. You have what have you, right? So when I came in, I noticed, this is a gap that needed to be filled. And thankfully, I had experience in Scrum. Scrum is like an agile project management technique or tool that you apply in companies. So I now said, okay, so this is what I saw. And then I knew that there was a need for a strong project management method to be inculcated or adopted in the company. And then I went ahead to, apply feature-driven development for those in software. Development, if you may understand, feature-driven development is what Scrum is. And then I was able to do what? We're able to reduce turnaround time by 20%, and that in turn increased revenue by 15%. Just make sure that whatever number or metrics you are putting to your impact is something that you can justify. Don't go and put what you don't know or what you're not sure just so you can sound, so you look like you've done a lot, because that lying is one of the fastest ways to get ousted. So that is something else. You can also be in your church. For you to be that say, I just finished school, I don't have a lot of work experience, but I'm the church youth leader and I've been able to maybe coordinate the youth to carry out a project in our community, or anything you've been able to do in your church, any problem you've been able to solve, any role you've been able to fill that has, impacted your church. It could be your NYSC, it could be your CDS, right? During my time, my CDS, I remember we organized like a an outreach for the people in Agbado community. And we called all the old women together, the young kids, we shared them food stuff and all of those items, and that kind of helps alleviate hunger for a while in the community. So leadership, to be honest, it doesn't necessarily have to be anything extremely grand. As long as you can make sure that you can account for your impact, I think that should work. Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Ruby. Somebody still says in the group chat that he wants a clearer example or something. But don't worry, we'll get back to that. Before we go ahead, I want us to appreciate one of our alumni on the call. He has been on the call like since we started. Can we celebrate Mr. Dolapo Olawumi? Let's celebrate him. This is the pioneer people of this Telegram group. Thank you so much, sir. We appreciate you. Thank you for joining us. Okay, so Lucy wants to add to all that Ruby has said. Lucy, you can go ahead, please.
Okay, thank you so much, Ruby, for the detailed explanation. I hope you guys can hear me right. Okay, I just want to add some few points from my experience on leadership essay. We talked about the STAR approach. So I want to add, beside the STAR approach, once, let's say, there is a result for some activity we did, for a project, or for any program that we laid, it would have its own lesson. Like, let's say the result was helping 100 young women, learn about some specific thing. But it would be great to add as well, what was the lesson taken from that specific leadership experience? The lesson from that, it could be the lesson you took as a for your personal life or for your future endeavors as well. So I think on the STAR approach, it would be great to add the lessons at the last as well. Also, for me in leadership, I try to mention my role model in like the introduction part as well. Like, it doesn't have to be very detailed, but we can say like, we can mention someone if we really think that we learned what leadership meant. It would be possible for you to add them as well. Beside that, I think when structuring the essay, it's, as Ruby said, it's important to have a flow, and it needs to have a good introduction and a good summary or a conclusion at the end. So please don't forget to really understand the basic essay writing formats, so that your essays have a bit more of like a flow when writing it, so that for whoever is reading your essay really needs to understand or get a whole grasp of it. Thank you so much, Janet. I think we can move forward.
Yeah, thank you so much for the addition. Okay, guys, I know we have a lot of questions. Just hold on. I'm seeing all your questions. Please keep dropping your questions. We are going to answer all your questions as soon as we get to question and answer segments. Okay, so let's quickly move. Okay, Victor, you want to add something? Your hand is up.
Yeah, sure. Can I go ahead? All right, thank you so much. So, thank you, Ruby. Thank you, Lucy. I think they've done great justice to this leadership essay, but I just want to point out some things. And I think they are very important because I believe those were some of the things that helped me myself in my essay, in my leadership essay. The first thing I want to say is try to link your example to a UN SDG. At least one or two sustainable development goals should be connected to your work. So no matter what work it is that you're doing in any field, whether it's in the health or it's in IT or it's in food development, whatever industry it is, just look for an SDG goal and tie your experience to it, right? So let it show that you're contributing towards achieving the sustainable development goals. If you don't know what that is, I really doubt, but if you don't, you can just search for UN SDG goals and you'll find them and try to link your examples to them. And then secondly, don't lie. It's just looking like play now. Don't, as much as you can. In fact, why am I saying as much as you can? Don't lie at all, because this your whole essay would be in front of the interviewers on your interview day. Everything will be in front of them. And they're going to ask you questions based on what you've written. So everything you've written, you have to answer the questions. In fact, in my case, funny enough, even some scholars can give testimonies to this. You would have somebody that is related, that is in your field on your panel. So there will be somebody that is in your field. So you might have somebody that probably knows a project that you're talking about or has worked in a similar field. And if you lie, sorry for you, that's the end of it for you. Because for me, I had somebody who, in fact, when I mentioned his name, they told me he was supposed to be on my panel, right? But they know him and they said he's going to be coming for the interview the next day. So it's important that you are not lying. And then also, let me just strengthen this point that you should mention numbers in your essays. Mention the numbers that have been impacted. Like, let it show. Try to give those specific figures as to how many people you were able to impact. It doesn't have to be 1 million, even if it is 10. If you can back it up that this is the work that you were able to do, then you should be fine. Thank you so much.
Excellent. Thank you, Victory. Thank you. There's a lot to say on all of these essays, but I want us to really touch on all the four of them so that you guys can have the whole of this week to implement all we've said before we meet again next week, Saturday. Okay, so let's move to the next essay, which is the networking essay. And Mr. Emmanuel will be taking us on that for 10 to 15 minutes. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Janet. Appreciate you. Appreciate everyone who made this possible. Please let me know you can hear me. If you can hear me clearly, right? So I don't have to shout. Okay, so before I go into networking, I want to say something on the leadership. Want to stress on what Victory just pointed out. SDG goals, yeah, very important, but then link it to your country specific SDG, and don't lie, like you said. The bad side of lying is that you have to keep telling lies to defend the lie you have already told. So let's go to networking. So I'm going to read, I'm going to drop a link, which I believe is the marking scheme for Chevening. I'm going to drop a link here. I've been doing this since I started this mentorship program when I was doing my own mentorship program. So this is the link, everybody, that you need to use as your guide, because it spells out the weakness and the strength of each of the essays being written. So the Chevening is looking for individuals with strong professional relationship building skills who will engage the Chevening community and influence and lead others in their choosing profession. Please explain how you build. Please explain how you build. Please explain how you build. Don't describe networking. Explain how you build and maintain relationships in a professional capacity, showing clear examples of how you currently do this and apply how you hope to use these skills in the future. I know why I read this out, because a lot of you don't know that there is a marking scheme. Okay, this was my guide. I never had anyone to coach me, so you are very lucky. I never even knew there was a community. I was working at Union Bank headquarters, so it was from work to house, work to house. There was no time. So when I come back home, I'll start writing. But look at what helped me. This link I shared is what helped me. So I want every one of you to look at this whenever you are writing any of the essays. Look at the strengths, already have the strengths and weaknesses. Then I'll conclude. The strength was strong applicants in this section used specific examples of their own network, describing unique and diverse ways of maintaining networks and how they facilitate networking. If you can do this, you've passed the networking essay. First and foremost, how do you facilitate networking? Some of you will jump and start telling us how you met people on Facebook and LinkedIn, and that's great, that's awesome, but that is not the strongest example to give. In fact, I'm going to have a weakness here. Okay, so merely one of the weaknesses, merely joining a social media network is relatively straightforward and quick to organize, and probably not the strongest example of. So these people have even given you a hint of what they want. So first, I would say, how do you build network in your workplace? Then secondly, outside your workplace. And I'll use my example. When some interns came from our internship school, our training school at Bank into our organization. First thing I did was I discovered that okay, these guys they're all novice in the cybersecurity field. I'm a cybersecurity analyst, cloud security analyst. So what did I do? I stayed back. I stayed back after work to teach 4 of them. So every day after work by 5 to 7, we'll spend more time as in teaching them the standard operating procedure and everything that they need to know about our organization. So I think you should state how you build network. How do you build network and maintain network with people? Are you authentic? Do you have other people's interest at heart? Do you go out of the way for others? Okay, so how do you create this bond within your organization? Okay, so these guys, I spent like 3 months doing that. I think at the end of 3 months, they were able to master the way things are done in my field, and that's had a long way to help them. Even after I left the organization, we're still in touch because I showed genuine interest in their growth and I committed to it. So it's beyond telling us you have 1,000 Instagram followers. Nobody cares about that, honestly. And you have 5,000 friends on Facebook. That's not it. In your workplace, how do you maintain it? Then outside your workplace, do you go for conferences? Do you go for events? Do you go for do you volunteer in your community? I mean, these are avenues of meeting people. Okay, so tell them how you do this. I belong to an organization called Africa for Africa, and September 23rd last year we were able to meet with the former president Olusegun Obasanjo, and I had opportunity to ask a few questions. And that's not just it. After the conference finished, because we had guests from other African countries, I let them stay in my place. And we discussed how we're going to pursue our Pan-African dreams. And as I speak to you, we are still in touch. So how you meet people matter, and how you are able to bond with those people, how you're able to maintain those. It is not just meeting people. How do you maintain such relationships going forward? And then another thing I think you should point out is the relationship you built. How is your partnership with these people affecting your community? Okay, so you met somebody who is into climate change. So have you guys been able to organize any kind of program that will affect the immediate community? So it's not just about meeting people. How do you build the relationship? How do you maintain the relationship? And then how do you guys, the bond you've created, how does it impact your immediate community? So I'm gonna look at Janet, please. How much time do I have?
5 minutes.
Oh, that's a long time to talk. All right, so let me look at the weaknesses. Many applicants scored good as they could clearly evidence networking skills, and even at the start, they start building network with the current Chevening community, but only if you expanded it. So you can also put that you've met Janet, you've met Victory, you've met Ruby. I mean, you've connected with them and they're helping you with your essays, but expand more on it. Okay, so you guys have you have weekly meetings. I mean, this is a great way to go about. I didn't mention this in my essay anyway, but I think this is a great way to show for your networking skills. Many applicants find it difficult to connect the notion of networking with clear examples of using them at work. So this thing now, I just said, how do you use your skills at work? And it's not time to start lying about it. Okay, you have from now till November, I think a month today to submit this application. So you can still start working on your networking skills. I mean, you don't have to lie about it. And one thing I think you should also point out is, just a minute, please. I wrote something down. How are you going to affect the Chevening community? Because I think that's the last part of the question. How are you going to affect the Chevening community with your networking skills? So tell us like what we're doing now, we are proving to you and to the Chevening secretariat that we are actually doing what we say we'll do. Okay, so how are you going to affect the Chevening community? Are you going to be isolated? Are you going to be isolated throughout your time in the UK, or are you going to join the Chevening communities to organize something like this? So your networking skills should not just be about you; it should be about people. How you're going to affect people. I don't know whether I have made any sense in what I said, but this is what I understood and how I was able to write mine and get into the interview stage. If you have any questions, I think you can go ahead. And if anybody else has something to say among the panelists, I think you can go
Yeah,
ahead.
before you go, just give us a clear example, maybe from your
Okay, a clear example. Okay, so a clear is
an example of a networking essay that will scale through for Chevening.
I'm gonna read out my own if that is gonna solve the case. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna read out my
Yeah,
own.
listen, but don't copy. If you copy, you're out. So just listen.
Okay, so listen, in my journey as a professional, I've come to believe that authentic relationship form the cornerstone of success in any endeavor, whether it's collaborating with colleagues, mentoring new hires, or adapting to new leadership skills, styles. My approach to building and maintaining professional relationships centers on authenticity, genuine interest, value creation, effective communication, appreciation, reliability, and staying connected. I firmly believe that these qualities not only foster a positive and supportive work environment, but also contribute to enhance productivity and shared achievement. An aspect of my commitment to professional relationship building lies in nurturing the next generation of professionals. When new hires joined our team straight from the internship program, I took it upon myself to support their smooth transition into the organization. I recognize the importance of providing guidance and instilling confidence in these budding talents. Over the course of their first 3 months, I dedicated time and effort to teach them the fundamental operations of our team and familiarize them with our standard operating procedures. I remained approachable and open to answering their questions, ensuring they felt supported and welcomed. Additionally, I voluntarily extended my work hours to stay with them after work, offering hands-on training and guidance in their newly assigned areas. By investing in their growth and development, I aim to lay a strong foundation for their success and build lasting bonds within the team. I belong to several volunteer organizations and NGO, one of which is the Africa for Africa Youth Initiative. In September 2023, we went on a leadership conference at the Olusegun Obasanjo Presidential Library in Abeokuta, Ogun State. The conference focused on sustainable development and Pan-Africanism, and the former president Olusegun Obasanjo spoke to us. We have five international guests from 5 African countries: Tanzania, Zimbabwe, Ghana, South Africa, and Sierra Leone, who alleged stay in my house for a week after the conference prior to when their flight was due. During this period, we fostered friendship, discussed our different dreams for a Pan-African driven Africa and our various roles. I'm still in touch with them, and we are working on hosting a cybersecurity conference in their various countries as part of my commitment to a cyber crime-free Africa through the Cyber Shield Foundation. Okay. As I look forward to the future, I'm eager to leverage these relationship building skills as a Chevening scholar by immersing myself in a diverse and talented community of scholars. I believe I can enhance my abilities further and be better equipped to influence and lead others in my chosen profession. As a global leader, I envision build bridges between cultures and industries, promoting collaboration and mutual understanding for a collective growth and prosperity. I'm done. You see, if this was here in UK, I'll be paid for this thing.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you. Even though they said you were too fast, so they couldn't really hear you word for word, but it's fine. Like I said, we're still going to revisit it again. Just keep your questions that you have for us. And quick clarifications I want to give is that everything we are saying here are not the views of Chevening. These are our views based on our own experiences with the Chevening Scholarship. So you not go out there and say, hey, Chevening is this. So no, it is based off on our own experiences and our journey, particularly for me, I applied for Chevening 3 times before I finally got it. Victory, I applied for just once, right? Victory got it on his first attempt, so you don't have to get apply like 3 times before you get it. You can get it this year. And for all of you, hey, my prayer is that you will get it this year. And somebody said in the comments that, oh, it's serious business. Yeah, Chevening is serious business. For anybody to count that much money to spend on you, know that it's serious business. And also, please use the link that Mr. Emmanuel shared to see the scoring guide or the marking guide for your essays. Thank you so much, Emmanuel. We'll go to the study in the UK now, and that will be anchored by Lucy. Welcome, Lucy.
Okay, thank you, Janet. I just want to add some few points on the networking essay before jumping into the study. Is that okay? Okay, good. So on the networking part, it was discussed in detail, but I just want to add some of my points as well. So when you write, for example, I think you need to select at least 2 to 3 networking stories, not more than that. I mean, having too much stories in like a 500-word essay is not really going to make any sense, and you're not going to deliver the point that you want to deliver. So you need to, whatever we're talking here, I really urge you to sit down and write every point that you think is important, because that was how it has been for me. Each experience of us, like each experience that we have individually, is really going to help you build your essays in a better way. What I tell you, what Janet tell you, what others tell you are going to be a whole new experience for you. So just make sure to note the notes when we are talking about something. So on the networking essays, it would be great for you guys to include, let's say when you are telling a story or a certain activity, mention where that activity or where that networking happened, like the specific location. It could be an event, it could be in a classroom, it could be in the airplane, it could be anywhere, but mention where that happened, and mention the time as well. Was it May 2021, June 2023? It has to be very specific. You need to also specify who you met. Like, you can't just say, I met the president or the CEO of this company. You have to say, I met Mr. This, who is working as a, let's say, a diplomat in this certain company or in this certain country. So you have to be detailed in clarifying, because as our earlier guest mentioned, you don't know who is going to be sitting in your panel. So you have to be truthful of who you met, where you met them, and how like meeting them really helped you to make an impact. You shouldn't just say that, oh, I met with this person and then that's it. What did you do after meeting that person? Where did you take that conversation, that connection into another level? You really need to think about that. Really need to go and sit down and say, okay, in which part of my life have I done that? Because I questioned myself a lot, because I was like, oh my God, have I ever even networked in my life when I started writing my essay? You have to sit down and say, okay, when are the times I did this? Which one of this could be considered as networking? Okay, another is, networking is not just about an in-person connection as well. It could be an online presence as well. Let's say you engage a lot on online and any platforms, and your connection could be brought from online interactions as well. So make sure to note that it's not meeting someone at a certain point or an in-person conversation. Also talk about your Chevening networking, not just what you're going to get away from that, but what are you going to provide or give back to Chevening as you network through your stay in the UK. So it's just not about you, but it's about you giving back to the Chevening community, to the alumni, to prospect scholars, to whoever you're going to encounter throughout your stay in Chevening or even after that. So I just want to note that I'm sorry. I think I'm taking so much time. I have a lot to say, Janet. So let's move on to studying in the UK. Writing studying in the UK essay could be tough because here you're not writing about your experience at all. You are writing something after your research. Where do you want to go? Where do you want to study? What do you want to study? And for what reason do you want to study that course? So it's completely going to be, I have done this, I have done that. No, you're not going to do this in this essay. Before starting to write this essay, you really need to know, or at least have an idea of what you want to study once you come to the UK. So let's say, so I'm doing business and development. So I have been working on the sector of business development, basically supporting different micro, small, medium enterprises building their business in training, consulting in Ethiopia and within Africa as well. So, okay, that's how my career has been. And there is an interest in me to still, support or grow on that career path I have. So here I had to decide, okay, I want to do something related to business, but I want to, because I work in the development sector, I don't want to go to business school to study business management, but I want a course that combines the aspect of business and development together. So for me, finding a course that aligns with this um, topic was very difficult because there were like three universities in the UK that were giving a specific course on business and development within development studies department. So this is how much I narrowed down my interest to really identify, okay, this is what I'm going to study. So once you have identified what your interest area is, because for some courses, the course might be given to every universities. Let's choose one example of a common course, which is development studies. Development studies is a course that you can find in every university in the UK, just development studies. So you will have to actually specify, it might not be just development studies you're doing, but it would be really good to choose a course that is as specific as your career plan, that is as specific as your networkings or whatever you have been doing so far. Make it as specific as you can so that it aligns, because the last essay is going to be about your career plan. So let's say I decided to study business and development. In your career plan, I'm writing about supporting something a different path. So it's not going to align. I have to align my essays, and all of them need to make some sort of sense of what I want to do, what I want to achieve by studying my master's in the UK. So that's like the general highlight when you start writing your essay on studying in the UK. So regarding how you lay out the essay format, basically, I have just a few points for you guys to really, really consider. The first one is I want you guys to, okay, sorry. I want you guys to really note like let's say since you're coming in the UK, you need to understand the UK culture, or any other things that aligns with your career. Let's say, what is UK most known for in your career or in your topic? Let's say UK's support. I'm going to give examples with myself because I am going to give you examples from what I have written. You might have heard that UK supported businesses within the country and invest a lot of money to support different businesses to grow and, serve the community. Let's say that is one statistics that that UK is mostly engaged in. So that could be your entrance point to your, let's say, studying in the UK. The other is you really, really need to know your course content. Let's say there is one university, one course you have chosen, and there are a lot of contents or there are a lot of modules within that courses. So I'm sure you're not going to be writing about all of them. You might choose one specific course, and let's say you're doing gender. So there is a gender course in your, let's say, course, and you really are interested to learn more about that because it provides you with practical placement or any internships, or it could be more of a typical research that you could do in the field or anything like that. So you need to really understand what your course is talking about, and you really need to find which area you're mostly interested in. And for my case, I also had to bring some of my lecturers' name or any kind of topics that they were working on. And I said, Professor this or Doctor this is doing a work on this area that I'm really interested in. I want to go there and collaborate with them and see how they work or anything like that. So make it as specific as you want. Like it has to have as much content as possible. I hope you're getting what I'm saying. And Jenny said we will have much more other sessions as well, so that we could really deep dive into each essays, but I'm going to give you as much general information. Beside the courses, you have to add fun things about studying in the UK as well. Like you're not just here to study or to learn, you're here to explore, you're here to dive into a new culture you've never been with. So you have to write something that aligns with the UK culture. Let's say you're interested in football. It could be about, attending music festivals. It could be attending film festivals. You need to see, let's say it could be eating fish and chips. Whatever it is, you need to write how you want to be part of that new culture as well. You want to experience UK's culture as well. So and also for me, I noted down some of the challenges I might face when studying in the UK and how I plan to overcome them as well. And then other points that I have added to my essay was after studying these courses, I wrote what I want to get out of it, like what I want to get out of it and, implement when I get back home, and how I will use that knowledge to contribute to my community or to whatever organization that I will be working on. So it has to include not just you wanting to study about certain things, but it has to include that once you're done with your course, once you acquire the necessary knowledge that you need to have, you have to write just like not in a bigger portion, because you will write that on your career plan, but it's good to touch it up a little bit, saying that you want to use the knowledge you acquired to bring back home and use them locally. So maybe I might not read my whole essay, but I can give you some like a sneak peek on one paragraph of my essay, so that you could really have an understanding of how you write your choice of course. So one of my university that I chose besides Sussex was called University of East Anglia. So they have a course on business and sustainable development. So here it goes. So I said my second preferred course is the MA in Business and Sustainable Development, offered at the University of East Anglia School of Global Development. This program includes the development work placement component, which I find particularly exciting. It offers a unique opportunity to gain practical experience and valuable addition that align seamlessly with my career aspiration in the realms of sustainable development and private sector goals. This hands-on experience will enable me to bridge the gap between theory and real-world application, further enhancing my readiness to contribute effectively to the field. So this is one paragraph for one of my chosen university. For this paragraph, I didn't list about the content of the course or my teacher. It doesn't mean for every university you choose, it has to be the same kind of theme. For my first university, I wrote a different one. Maybe I selected one specific course that I'm interested in. For your second university, you might choose a different thing that interests you. And for your third university choice as well, choose a different perspective. Don't let it be, redundant in all of the essays. So, Janet, one last thing to wrap up. Sorry. It will be good for you guys to really, really start researching on the universities now. Just don't start saying, oh, I want to go to Oxford. I want to go to Oxford, Cambridge, and LSE, like the famous universities. Like, just don't get those things out on your head. Please try to choose smartly. Like, when you choose 3 universities, at least you need to choose universities which are in a different realm. For example, the first choice could be like a top Ivy League university. Your second choice might be somehow the acceptance rate could be, good in the middle. Your third choice might be like you will have a full confidence that you have full acceptance. Some people who got the scholarship, the Chevening Scholarship, some people might not go because they haven't been accepted by any university that they applied with. So be ambitious, but don't be too ambitious, because you should know you might have a good resume, good experience, good GPA from your previous studies, but you might not still be accepted to the university that you want to be accepted. So please, do your research before even starting to sit down and write for this essay. Research where you want to go. Email these universities, email them saying, okay, I'm this, I have a bachelor's in this, these. Am I eligible to be part of or to participate on the application process? Hear a feedback from them. They might say yes, they might say no, you need this to apply to us. So don't just randomly select universities and then once you apply to them, you might get rejected. You might get rejected to 3 of them if you don't do your research well. So that's it for me. Thank you so much, Janet. We'll answer questions after everyone's done.
Yeah, thank you so much, Lucy. Before we go ahead, I would like us to welcome our pioneer founder of this Telegram mentorship. Her name is Abigail Odishika Ado. Please let's put our hands together and celebrate Miss Abby. She has been exceptional, ensuring that we give you guys the best. And towards the end, our senior alumni members will be able to say 1 or 2 things to us. So stay tuned till the end. If you've not shared this link, please share this link to as many of your friends as possible. This is a life-changing opportunity. Chevening has the capacity to change your life for good. If just look at me, if your life was at this level before, when you get Chevening Scholarship, trust me, you've gone all the way up. So please don't hide this information. Share the link for more people to join. Once again, thank you to our alumni members who are on the call. Please stay with us to the end, so we'll give you opportunity to say 1 or 2 things to the prospective scholars. All right, so thank you, Lucy. That was a long one. Lucy. Okay, so to the next and final essay, which is our career plan essay, that will be handled by Mr. Vicky. Vicky, please promise me you'll be short and straight to the point. Promise.
Yeah, sure. But before then, Imawa's hand is up, so I don't know if we should take what he has to say.
Who? Ima?
Yeah.
Emmanuel, you want to add to what Lucy said, or what Lucy has said? Or let's just come
No,
back.
not actually. She made most of the point, but I just want to point out one thing. Please, before you apply to a school, research the school. If you are not working, you don't have the money to spend on an application fee. Please check schools that have application fees. Is important. Check schools that accept your English. If you're a Nigerian, some schools accept WAEC. Some schools insist that you get TOEFL or ILT, whatever they call it. Research that. Research is very important as much as you want to go to a good school, because once you get this Chevening, they will ask you to submit an unconditional offer. And part of this, maybe we should talk about this later, right? So Victor can talk. Is this something I should go ahead or maybe later?
If you can go straight to the point, like really short, so you don't
All
forget
right,
what.
please check the schools, research the schools. The entry requirement is important. Do they need you to pay some fees? Do they require you to get some English language proficiency certifications? Please don't, after you've spent so much energy writing these essays and then God shows you favor, now an unconditional offer becomes a problem. Research the school properly. For me, all the schools I applied, they didn't require application fee and they didn't require English language proficiency test whatsoever. But if you can get those things, is good though. But then to avoid regretting at the long run, I think you should research properly. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much, Emmanuel. Thank you, Lucy. Thank you, Janet. So we're going to go straight to career. Before we go straight to career plan, I was going to say just two things to add to the study in the UKSA. Your study in the UKSA actually should be the most. Somebody sharing the screen. All right. So your studying the UKSA for me was the most exciting essay to write, and it was because it should show how much interest you have in the UK. It should show that you've really done a lot of research. One of the key ways to scoring a high point in this essay is research. Research, research, research. Research into what the university is also doing, some projects that the university might be doing in your country, because some of these schools are also engaging in some projects. So it's good to also research on them. And then I was also going to say, try as much as possible not to repeat, not to clog your studying the UK essay with the same things. You talk about model in stage one, in your first choice, talk about model in your second choice, talk about model in your third choice. That's boring to read. You want to ensure that if you're talking about model in your first choice, in your second choice, you're not talking about model, you're talking about maybe a research paper that you read from a professor that you're really interested in the school. And then in your third choice, even if it's still academic, but not model, don't plug everywhere with model, 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 and then it feels like you don't even understand where you want to go because every school is giving you interest in model, right? So you want to be sure that your essay is interesting to read. It shows that you've done a lot of research into the UK. Right. And then on applications, it's very important to start early, to start to apply early. For me, I got admission to the University of Leeds even before I submitted my Chevening application. Interesting. So it was just fantastic. Before I submitted my application in November, I had already gotten an unconditional offer. So I already knew that this one is sorted. So you want to ensure that you start applying to the schools early. Right. So let's go straight to the career plan essay. And four things I'm just going to say before I begin to bring some structure to how to write this essay is that the essay is one that must substantiate all the things that you've written in your previous three essays. I would like you to think of it as a season finale, as a last episode to a particular season of a movie that you have been watching, from leadership to networking to studying the UK. So your career plan should be one that connects the four parts together, and of course gives substance the to your Chevening scholarship, because I mean it's the whole essence, right? So you don't want to have an essay that somebody reads a very interesting leadership example, you have strong networking skills, and then you also have good reasons for choosing the UK, but then your career plan is not strong enough. Just like we started by saying, investment is a huge one. Is in fact, for some some of us, tuition fees alone is that £30,000, not to talk of stipend and flight allowances and all of that. So it's a lot of investment. So when you read your career plan essay, ask yourself, is it worth the investment of this kind of money? Should somebody give me this money to be able to do these things I've listed out in my career plan? That's something you also want to have at the back of your mind. Sorry, I have some notes scribbled down, so in case you see me looking down. And then, of course, um, you want to be bold and audacious and smart about your plans. Bold, audacious, and smart. Your plans must be smart, right? So you don't want to shoot yourself short. It's good to always dream big. A friend of mine told me it's good to dream big, aim for the sky. If you don't hit it, you definitely land somewhere around the moon. So it's still a safe place to be. So you want to aim as high as possible, but again, you have to be smart about it. So some things that can help us give structure to the career plan essay. Two things I'm just going to mention is one is the content of your plan, and then of course the structure, the content and the structure. Let me start with structure. I would recommend that your career plan essay has 5 paragraphs. The first paragraph is to be the introduction and usually should be the problem statement, right? Talking about identifying a gap in your field, and of course how, because you've already talked about what you study in the UK, how your studies in the UK would help to bridge that gap. And then you go on to the second paragraph, which is your immediate career plan. So that's within 1 to 3 years, what you'll be doing immediately after your master's program. And then, of course, the third paragraph would be your midterm career plan. And then your fourth paragraph is the long term career plan. And, of course, your conclusion. So, like I said, you want to be smart about the goals that you'll be including in your plan. And you're not just listing these goals, but you're telling us how will you achieve them. So, like I said, it's good to be bold and audacious, but you cannot just give us a very blunt plan. You can't just give Chevening a very blunt plan and expect that they would understand this is how it's going to work out, right? So, for your immediate plan, am I too fast? Okay, I'll try to slow down. So for your immediate plan, you want to ensure that you are most likely talking about coming back to your work in case you were working or you're starting out a new project. Whatever it is, try to ensure that it is something that is smart. By smart, I mean specific, it is measurable, it is, I think A is achievable, and then R, relevant, and it is time bound, right? So you have to ensure it is specific, it is measurable, you can measure it, it is attainable, it's achievable, it is relevant, and it is time bound, right? So in your immediate plan, of course, immediately when you're returning, you also want to mention that you'll be leveraging the skills that you would have gained in your postgraduate program to be able to, like I said in the introduction, it's like a problem statement, and then your plan now is detailing the things that you will do to help solve that problem. So if there's no problem in the first place, why are you going for a master's degree? The whole essence of this scholarship is to give you um, education in the UK that can help to contribute to what you will do, your plans, right? So you want to ensure that your plans are tilting towards solving a particular problem in your field. And of course, you want to detail it to what you will do immediately after you return. Even if you're returning back to your workplace, don't just say you would return back. What are you going to do? And you want to also ensure that your plans are what are going to be evidenced by what you will learn in the UK. So don't have plans that will not have, that you don't need Chevening, or plans that you don't need to do a master's for that. Your plan should be something that they can read and say, okay, yes, we need to give him this scholarship to attain this. So if you're saying that you would maybe start an NGO, you have to tell us that probably in your master's degree, you'll be taking a course in development that would help you to understand some things. And then, of course, that would help us, that will help the reader to understand that there is a plan to achieve these goals. If your plan is to be, I mean, whatever it is, outline the steps that show that your masters in the UK through the Chevening Scholarship would help to achieve those plans. So, of course, in the midterm, it is expected that that's for the third paragraph, it's expected that you are progressing in your career. So you also want to ensure that you have goals that are also smart, but show growth, right? And then, of course, your long-term plan, that's where it's more like the final goal, your this is where they would see your ability to dream and to really think about the future. So this essay is more like an essay that you really have to do a lot of thinking, because the future is not like something you have all sorted out, right? So you need to do a lot of thinking to what you want to do in your plans, right? From immediate to long to midterm and then to long term. So of course, if you read the Chevening prompt for this particular question, you would see that they are looking for people with a clear post-study career plan. So it is clear, it is outlined, and then you also have the links to what you will study in the UK and how what you will study will impact on the plans. And then let me end by saying that there's no right or wrong career plan. So I will not say, okay, this your career plan is right, it is wrong, or I mean correct plan like that. No, but there are plans that would really pique the interest of Chevening. And this is why in the question, in the prompt, it said, I think I wrote it down. He said you may wish to consider relating what the UK is doing in your country. Don't mind that you may. You must actually link it to what the UK is doing in your country. And one thing I like to say is that don't just link it. Talk about the skills that you gain in your course and how they will contribute to impacting what the UK is currently doing in your country. I remember even in my Chevening interview, there are some things I wrote. In fact, I was talking about some projects that the UK is doing in Nigeria, and I started mentioning them from my study in the UK essay. So when I came to my career plan essay, I was now even giving more facts into how the skills I would gain in the UK would help me to not just contribute to their plans, but also help them to. So these projects have finances, have budgets that have gone into them, and somehow, if you check some of the websites that show these projects, you would see that some of the projects have not yet met their goal. Some of them have some issues, some challenges, some gaps. It is important that you also research deeply and try to understand and try to know what is the gap, what is the problem with this project, and how your skills can help to impact on it. That's how you're going to tell Chevening that if they don't give you this scholarship, they are, in fact, if they don't give you this scholarship, both the people who are supposed to benefit from the project and also Chevening would be affected. So you want to also tie your examples back to how your skills would also help to impact the Chevening network and of course the projects that the UK is doing in Nigeria. I hope that helps. Thank you. Is Janet still around? Or if we have any other scholar who wants to add, I think we can go
Yeah,
ahead.
yes, it does help, Victory. Thank you so much. I was trying to pen down some things that I wanted to, share with them. Okay, Ma, you want to say something? You can go ahead, please.
Yeah, thank you, Victory, for that detailed expository. That was so insightful. So what I want to point is your short-term plan. Please don't mention you would love to go to USA to go and do your PhD. A lot of people, I've been reviewing essays. I've reviewed more than 150 essays. I mean, since I started my mentorship program, I've reviewed at least 150. People write, I want to, after my achievement, I'll go to the USA to get my PhD. Like, they are investing in you so you can come back to your country. This is not a jackpot route. This is not a poverty alleviation scheme. They want you to go to UK, get the necessary skills, come back to your country, tell them what you're going to do in your country. I want you to focus on your country throughout, if possible, throughout your short term, mid term, and long term. Focus on your country. And then, like Victor rightly said, focus on what UK is doing in your country. So that's what I wanted to point out.
Sorry, just to add, I think we can post the link for the UK projects. So there are some, I think the DFID links you that would help them track the projects that are currently ongoing. I'll try to find that link and I'll post it in the comment section so you can just be on the lookout.
Hi, Vicky. Thank you so much. Lucy's hand is up again. Lucy, please go ahead.
I hope you guys are not tired of me.
Your video, 2 seconds. Just
Okay, sorry. Okay. So just to add on the career plan, I think I want to advise you guys to make your career plans as achievable as possible. You have to think of in a way where you are currently now in your career. And let's say all of us are in our different career time right now. Maybe I'm just a starter. Someone is more experienced than me. We are all from different background, different age, different kind of other criteria as well. So we need to think of in a way, let's say from my time to be, let's say, a president of a certain big UN organization in 10 years, that might not be possible because I might be just some 32 or 30 something person by then who is still building up my career, you know? So try to make your career plan as achievable as possible within that time limit. And it needs to be as specific as possible. For example, let's say you want to create your own as soon as you're back, let's say for your short-term goal, you wanted to create a certain project, and you're not gonna say, I want to start a project to improve this thing, or to do this thing. You have to be as specific as possible. You might have to add, let's say, a place or a certain, let's say, city. It could be a province. It could be a county. You have to be as specific as possible, saying that I want to train 25 young women back home at this location to help them achieve this kind of thing. So it has to be specific. Don't write a vague essay at all. Even you won't believe it if someone send you something and be like, okay, how is this person going to do it? So at least it has to be something persuading, you know? So please make sure that it's achievable. And on the UK part, not just about what UK is doing in your country, it would be great for you guys to add also, after you're done, like with your studies in your career plan, how do you plan to collaborate with UK in any part of your project? It could be with a UK company. It could be with the UK embassy, or it could be the British Council, or anything. At least on your plan, try to find a place. It doesn't have to be your major career plan, but try to find a place saying that, let's say there is certain organization, a UK-based organization working on the same sector as you're working, and you want to build a relationship with them. That basically shows that you're interested to keep, the partnership, the connection you have, because once you are a Chevening, you're basically a UK, Ethiopia, UK, Nigeria, UK, Uganda ambassador for them. So they want you to promote their country, the things that they do within your society. It has to be mentioned. So please don't forget to mention that as well, and be realistic when writing. I might not be back again because I think we're almost finished up with the time. There are Q&As, but
no, you will come back. Actually, we'll have
with
time.
the questions, right?
Time for questions.
Okay.
Thank you so
Then
much.
all right.
for sharing that insightful tip. I just wanted to also share that I know that this might be a lot of information for you guys, particularly for those of you who are just really knowing about this for the first time. Don't worry, we were once like you, but over time we had to navigate our way to get into where we are now. So don't worry, you'll be fine. And like I said, this meeting will be holding every week, every Saturday at 6 p.m. We'll have different mentors who will be coming to share their experiences with you guys. And to just add to the career essays, when you're starting out your career essay, one thing you must notice, you could start with, upon return to my country, I would do this. I was reviewing somebody's essay, and the person said when he comes back to their country, the person wants to get a job with the UN. And I'm like, how? How is that possible? Even people who have been doing so much work, they've not gotten to UNESCO, they've not gotten to UN. What were you doing before you left your country for Chevening? You might want to come back to your previous place of employment or something. Your immediate plan has to be extra realistic, that anybody can believe that, oh yes, this is what this person is coming to do. And another thing your career plan does for you is that it helps you think or envision your future, right? So even when you finally get this Chevening scholarship, when you come back, you are not confused. You are clear on what you want to do. You are not saying, hey, I'm back to Nigeria, or no lights, no this, I don't know. No, you've already done that work. That's why you have to pay the price now. Somebody was saying in the chat that they don't sleep anymore. My dear, don't worry. The time is coming when you will enjoy. But now pay the price. My own time, I know how many times I cried. I cried and cried and cried, but today I'm the one enjoying it. Can't you see my skin? See the way I'm glowing. So if you want to glow like me, pay the price now. So by this time next year, you will be on this chair like me, mentoring other people. Okay, so let me go. Let me allow our senior alumni say 18 or 2. Dolapo, are you still here? I'm really hopeful you are still here. Please, if you are, kindly unmute and just say 1 or 2 things to them. Thank you, sir. Dolapo, you are still muted. Or is Miss Abigail still here? Yes, I can see her. Ma'am Abby, please, would you want to say 18 or 2 before we go to questions and answers?
He said he can't unmute himself.
That's Dolapo, yeah?
Both of them. So I think he might need to.
Oh, I'll have to do that for them. Forgive me, guys. Okay, let me. Yes.
Hi everybody. Good evening. I think Dolapo should just go first before me.
Yeah. I'm trying to help him on mute.
I'm trying to find him as well.
Oh, I can see him. Yeah. Why is he
Okay.
not-
Yeah. Hi everyone. Thank you so much, Janet. Abby, yeah, it's fine. I mean, you can go first, and then I would speak after you. Yeah.
Who wants to go? Anybody should just go first.
Where is?
Hey, what's the issue with unmuting today? Oh, you guys forgive me. Oh, let me look for Abby again. Okay.
Hi. So I guess that I wouldn't mute my mic so that I don't get unmuted. Good evening, everybody. Hi. Well done to Janet, Emmanuel. Emmanuel, I met you at the Chevening Sandport in Lagos. Victory, Lucy, Janet, my babies. So we know ourselves from God knows when. I think I also saw Ruby on the call. Well done, all of you. This has been awesome. I know I joined in just an hour ago, but I've just enjoyed listening to you guys. So well done. The turnout is great. Jolapo, kudos to you as well. I think you all have said literally everything that any alumni would want to say or add at this time. But one thing I always say to people is that when you are applying or writing the Chevening essays, it's important that you know exactly what you want. I'm sure they've talked about the STAR approach. It's important that when you're writing your essays, just tell yourself, I have 2 examples. How do I want my examples to be top notch so that when the reader is reading, it's relatable? Try not to use big grammars and jargons. Make it as simple as possible so that when they're reading your essays, they just enjoy reading your essays, right? You already know the STAR approach. I think a lot of them have reiterated it even on the Telegram group. A Chevening Scholar 2020-2021, they call us the pandemic cohort, right? I started this journey with a friend of mine, thank God. We're both admins of the Telegram group, and we started this in 2020. And one of the things that we wanted to do was to make sure that we give back to, people. During our time, we didn't have a lot of people support us, but we wanted to make sure that if we clinched the scholarship, we want to do the same, which is why this has continued 4 years down the line. And we really want to thank everybody who has taken the baton from us, even the current cohort. Dolapo was once a coordinator like Janet and Lucy, So it's important that you state out your examples. If you have 2, it's fine. But it's how well you do with that 2 examples in your leadership essay, in your networking essay. Some persons have just 1 example of how they met somebody in their networking essay and how your relationship with that person helped other people. I always say when you write your essays or your example, make sure that it's not only you benefiting. In most cases, it can be you, but Chevening wants to see scholars who are exemplary. Chevening wants to see leaders who are available to help their community, who are available to support others. So even if it's in your workplace, you'll be surprised that the littlest example you have is what resonates to the person reading your essay. And I also say, have a personal touch to your essays, right? They already know what leadership means. They already know what networking means. You shouldn't be defining that as your opening paragraph. Just say what that means to you as a person. So one thing I always used to say, I started my leadership essay with was that leadership for me is something that I make sure that I am true to myself, right? That's what leadership means to me, because I cannot be a good leader if I'm not true to myself, because I would not have good followership. That's how I started my essay. Networking essay is always the hardest, but in my networking essay, I started with a personal touch. I like to talk. I talk a lot. I communicate a lot. It's my strongest skill in keeping friendship and relationships with people. And I started my essay talking about how my report cards growing up, they used to knock my head. My dad used to knock my head when I come home at the end of the month or at the end of the session when my report cards come. My tutors used to write on my report card, she's a talkative. And it didn't seem like a very nice thing that can be in a child's report card. I wrote that in my essay. But my comeback on that, I'd mentioned that looking back now, I've come to understand that communication is my strongest skill, which is why I have been able to keep relationship and networks going. So have something personal. I'm not saying go and write one story that in my village I used to, do some firewood. No. The point is have something that resonates to you as a person and as a leader. Make sure your essays synchronize with each other. What you're writing in your leadership essay can have a link to your networking essay. Many of my examples had some sort of link because many of the people that I'd worked with in leadership or volunteering sort of were still the same people that I networked and I kind of did my networking with. So it's important that there's a synchronization. And then to your UK essay, try to mention, Chevening wants to see that you've done your research. So make sure that you're researching the city you want to go to, the university you want to go to. It's not only the models, If there's a professor that is doing a research that resonates to you, mention their name. I always tell people when I review essays, I tell them, mention facts, figures, numbers, percentage, it gives credibility to your work. And then I say, don't lie in your essays, you will get caught. If you lie and if you plagiarize, you will get caught. So make it as simple as possible. And then your career plan essay. You can write great networking essay, leadership essay, and study in the UK essay. But if your career plan is not sunk, if it does not resonate, or if it does not look realistic or achievable, you don't get the scholarship, because your career plan essay can break or make you in getting the scholarship. Just like Lucy said, let it be realistic. And then Victory said the same thing as well. Don't say that you are planning on getting a job in the wanting. No. What exactly are you doing upon returning? And then he also mentioned, try to break your career plan into paragraphs. What am I doing on my immediate plan? Who am I networking with? Who am I relating with? 2 to 3 years down the line, I want to be able to do XYZ. I want to be able to impact XYZ number of people. How are you going to achieve that? Who are you collaborating? Who are your partners? Who are you working with? Again, look at what the UK is doing in your country. The UK is always doing something in the art sector, in the film industry, in human resources, in maritime, in health. They're always doing something. Marry your career plan essay to what the UK government is doing, because the Chevening Scholarship is like a bilateral scholarship between the UK and your various countries, right? So what exactly is your country, are they doing in your country that can keep that relationship going? That's what Chevening wants to see. And then when you're concluding in your essays, always talk about how you intend to contribute these skills, these competencies that you already have to the Chevening alumni community, and your country at large and the UK government. So I think I'm just going to stop there. But basically, make sure that your career plan is very smart, smart as possible. You already know the acronym of SMART. Is it specific? This is what I want to do. Is it measurable? What are the number of years I want to do X, Y, Z? Is it achievable? I can achieve this, partner with XYZ number of people, do this, do this, do that. Is it realistic? Yes, these are the number of people I want to be able to impact in 2 to 3 years. This is the number, this is the figure, these are the SDG goals I want to do. And then is it time bound? Within XYZ number of years, I want to have been able to accomplish this. So yes, again, do not lie in your essay. You will get caught. So that will be all from me. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ma. Dalapo.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much, Janet, and thank you, Abby. I mean, it's great to see you again. Abby and TG were the one who, sort of mentored us a few years ago. It's really amazing to see the continuity. So I want to say a big thank you to, Janet and Lucy and Blessing for, your amazing work. I also want to thank all of the people who've spoken today, Victory, Emmanuel, and Ruby and other colleagues that have spoken today. So yeah, amazing point. You've all done justice to the Chevening essay and how to write a competitive essay. I'm just going to touch on a few things which I feel is very important. Over the years, I've had the opportunity to look at many applicant essay. I've tried to see what what are the loopholes, what are those things that I feel like probably would contribute to you writing an amazing essay for Chevening. And I'm just going to talk about networking. The previous speaker, they've dealt with the leadership aspect, studying the UK and career plan. So I'm not really going to delve into all of those, but I'm just going to look at networking. So over the years, reading essays and looking at applicant essays, one thing I notice is that when applicants talk about all of the beautiful, networking stories, they've done this and done that, they usually forget, that part of the conclusive part where they should have told the assessor how they are going to continue to network in the future. So it's very, very important. And this is one of the gaps I've seen over the years, when I review essay. So when you talk about how you've done it in the past, now you need to also state how you would do it in the future. So because of course, Emmanuel was talking about the scoring card the other time. It's very, very important that you do not miss any part out, because you're going to be scored, and the highest scoring applicants are then going to be selected. So in your conclusion, you need to tell us how you want to continue that network. And when I see essay, I think what most applicants say is that, oh, after my program, I'm going to be networking with the XYZ alumni, the country's alumni, and I'm going to collaborate with them to do X, Y, Z. So at that point, you need to be specific in your conclusion. So you need to tell us how you would engage with the Chevening community. Because if you look at the feedback from Chevening, they say that many applicants only wrote about how they have networked, but did not really emphasize on how they are going to, network in the future. So, you need to be specific. You need to mention things you're going to do. And an example of what I wrote, in my essay was, I talked about how I was going to be volunteering. So, and this had to do with research because as a chief now, during your chiefing year, you're going to be doing a lot of activities. One of them is volunteering. You're going to have the chiefing explores. You'll be going for conferences. So you mentioning all those points, you're already positioning yourself as a chief scholar. They see that you've already seen, you're forward thinking, you've done your research. So you can mention stuff like, oh yeah, I look forward to attending the Chevening conference. I look forward to presenting this paper or this topic, or I like to volunteer with XYZ organization. Don't just say, don't just give generic fact like, oh, I'm going to be volunteering and attending conferences. So what are you going to do? So I look forward to volunteering with XYZ organization, research the organization, present it as though you're already in the UK, you know what you're doing. So for instance, in my essay, I was like, yeah, I'm going to be volunteering with Nutrition UK. And I also look forward to collaborating with my Chevening colleague who will be studying food science, and I can present these findings at the Chevening conference, which will happen in April 2022. So I was so specific. So that's very, very important. I just wanted to touch on that. And the second thing is novelty. So you need to be novel with whatever thing you're doing. So thousands of applicants were going to be applying, about 10,000 applicants from Nigeria last year, for instance. And I want to imagine that that's how it is in other countries as well. So you want to really be specific about, you want to be novel with whatever you're saying. So for instance, you're in the nutrition space, you know that a lot of people are going to be talking about malnutrition, which is something I've seen over time. So how are you going to stand out? Or you're in the education space, or you're talking about out of school children. So you need to bring something novel. The world is changing rapidly, and so we must change as well. We must think about ideas that are very novel in our essay. And I think that's something that is also going to, stand you out in your essay. And then lastly, I'm going to very quickly touch on generative AI. And I've seen lots of people asking questions about, can I use AI to check my essay and stuff like that. And I know, when we applied a few years ago, there was the advent of AI wasn't really pronounced. It might be existing then, but I know we had Grammarly, we had access to Grammarly, but there was no generative AI like ChatGPT and the likes. So I want to really strongly advise to, refrain from using generative AI to write your essay. The reason is because you want to write from the heart, and there is no one that can tell your story other than you. AI cannot tell your story like you would do. So it would be robotic and would not naturally flow. Definitely, you can use AI to review your essay. You can use Grammarly. So there is nothing like they're not going to be using detector to see, or they're going to be penalizing you if you review your essay with AI. One thing I cannot comment is if they're going to be checking your essay for AI detection. I know the UK has a lot of technology, when it comes to checking essays and stuff like that. But I want to just strongly recommend that you write from your heart. Whatever you write from your heart would really go a long way compared to if AI is writing for you. So that's just going to be my few points. Thank you so much again, Janet and colleagues. And thank you, Abby. And thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you so much, Dolapo. I'm so grateful. Thank you for speaking to us. We are grateful. But just taking it up from what Dolapo just said, AI cannot write for you. Even though AI write for you and they did not catch you, you get to the interview. If you like cram everything, they will still catch you that you are telling a lie. So I don't know why you guys are so bothered about using AI. Let this thing come from your heart, right? This is your own story. AI cannot write. I don't understand you people and AI. Leave ChatGPT alone. Write your own story. Just sit down. Think about your experiences since they gave birth to you. Since your background, though, since you went to the university, you think about your life, the spaces you've walked in. Think about something that you've done. Write those stories yourself. Imagine all the insights that we've shared with you today. If you follow them line by line, using the STAR approach, like we've said, what is the situation? What was the situation? What was the problem at that time? What's the task? What did you have to do to intervene? What action did you take? And what was the result? Simple and straightforward. It's not as difficult as we are taking it. So for me, really, there's no need for AI. So now it's time for question and answers. We've exhausted almost 2 hours with you guys. So there are loads of questions here. But before I attend to the written questions, I want people who have questions to please raise their hands so I can number you guys and we can answer your questions. Please, if you have a question, just raise your hand. so we can take your question. Okay, the first person I see here is Paul. Paul, 30 seconds. Just can you see if you can unmute and ask your question? Can you go ahead, Paul? Or am I the one who cannot hear you? Paul, you're not saying anything. Please ask your question.
Okay, please, my question is on work experience. Currently, I'm a media and communications professional with a private firm, and the person that owns that company has an NGO, and the NGO is working on developmental space and the issues and humanitarian uh, assistance. Please, my question is, I got employed last year, and I've been performing these two roles. On the NGO, I am the senior, while on the media, this thing, I write news and I edit for her. So please, I want to know, how can I put it on my work experience without sounding contradictory? Because if I put it the same time here and it's the same work I'm doing, so would they not like, how is this believable? Or they're finding it difficult to like believe if that's true? So that's what I want to know, please. Thank you.
I don't know. Did anybody get his question, please? From our facilitator. Lucy, do you understand his question?
I think it's not on the essays, but when he writes on the application process where you write your work experience. So he was working on the same organization with two different roles. So how can he write? So I think, just to give you my feedback on that, it's better for you to write the role that you think is more suited to your essays or what you're going to pursue your studies in, because I'm sure you will have other past experiences as well. So make sure to choose the one that you think is more relatable to what you intend to study, and then write the other experiences you have in the future after you write that. So I think writing both of them could be as contradictory. So make sure, I think, to choose one and write it. That's my feedback. If anyone have anything to add.
Okay. Paul, does that clarify? Has she answered your question? If you can still hear me, you can just type it in the chat so I go to the next person. Omego Anthony, please ask your question.
Okay, thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much for this opportunity to speak on this platform. My question is also on work experience, actually. The problem with my work experience, I'm looking to study most definitely international crime, security, and global studies. Okay, so for my work experience in a company, and I mostly dealt with um, the admin. I was mostly working as an administrative assistant. Then also I had work experience in teaching. So those were the only two work experiences I have. So I don't know if it's legit enough for me to put it down as one as my major work experience for this level.
Sorry, what did you say you want to study?
I want to study international crime, security, and global studies.
International crime and security. What do you say your work experience is in?
My work experience is I work in a company as an administrative assistant, and previously I worked as a teacher.
So why do you want to study crime and security? Why? I'm listening to you. Why do you want to study crime and security? Because at the end of the day, with your essays, you should be able to say why you want to study that course. What problem have you identified in that field based on your experience that makes you want to study that course? I'm asking you so we know how to help you if it's for you to get a better course that aligns with your experiences. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Anthony,
I
I
think
think
it's
it's possible that he
connection.
cannot unmute himself. It's
I've asked
possible.
him to unmute. I'm controlling it from here.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I'm saying that you say you want to study crime and security, right? But your experience is in teaching and something else. So why do you want crime? Because with your essays, you should be from your leadership essay, I should already know what this person is about, what you want to do. So you cannot talk about teaching and talk about something else. And in your career plan or in your study in the UK, you're talking about crime and security. So there has to be coherence in your essay. So can you tell us why you want to study crime and security?
I think Janet, his connection is really bad. Maybe he can type it for us and
So
then
you
we
can just
can
move to the
go
next
on.
person. So Antonio, I'll just advise if you cannot answer the why, you should really go back and think about it. What do you really want to study? Right? And if you really need the scholarship, what are the problems that you've identified? What do you want to solve? What problem? Because they cannot give you such amount of money when you are not clear on what you want to do. Okay. Let me go to Henry.
Sorry, let me just add to that. Probably this would help. So it's it is it you would be you still have a chance if you can prove your reason. I mean, you've had some experience teaching. If you can prove that even within your experience that was not directly related to crimes, you were still able to realize some issues with crime and security in your community or where you live or anywhere around that, even though it was not directly what you were doing, right? And then you've maybe done something to address it in your community. This might not be part of your work experience or your job description per se, but you have been able to somehow contribute to reducing crime or contribute to um, security measures like that. And you can obviously prove it with maybe a leadership example or something that should just tell us that you're tilting into something, even though you have an experience in education, but you're also tilting towards solving another problem that you realized even while you were going on your experience in education. And then, of course, you also have to prove it in your career, in your study in the UK. Of course, your courses have to be such because if you don't have, especially if your undergraduate degree is not related to what you want to study in the UK, then you have to do a lot of work to prove to the reader that you can switch from whatever you studied in your undergraduate degree into studying crime and security in the UK. So I hope that helps to give you perspective.
Okay, Henry, ask your question. Thank you, Victory.
Well, good evening. I want to thank the host for this program, for organizing this program. Can you hear me?
Yes, please go ahead.
I have four questions. The first question I will ask is, I would like Mr. Victory to do a recap on what he earlier talked about the five paragraph on writing a career plan. And the second question is, can you outline the schools that have waiver for English proficiency and application phase? That is, that will make it easier for me to apply. And the third question is, assuming I was able to secure the Chevening Scholarship grant, but unfortunately, the school I applied for was not able to give me the unconditional admission offer. Can the Chevening Scholarship be shifted to the upper year? Or does it mean that since I didn't meet up with the unconditional offer, mean that I've lost it for that year? And lastly, this program, will there be a link to be maybe for people who didn't properly get all the tips, where I can go and rewatch it or revisit it? Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Okay, Victory, please.
All right, so let me just do a review of the career plan structure I gave earlier. So I said I would recommend 5 paragraphs. Your first paragraph is for your introduction, of which could be your problem statement or something that can introduce what you're going to be doing within the next couple of years after your post study. And then the next paragraph should be your immediate plan. Then the third paragraph should be your midterm plan. The fourth paragraph is your long-term plan, and then your conclusion. So you're going to have an opening and a conclusion, and then you sandwich it with 3 paragraphs. That is your immediate plan, your midterm plan, and your long-term plan. So that's the structure I give.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, so to your other questions, you asked if for schools that have waivers, they've already posted a list of schools that you don't have to pay application or write any English testing. For most of us, we didn't have to pay for application fee or IELTS. So if you check this chat or you check the Telegram group, the list is there for schools that don't require you to have IELTS. Then for your third question, that if you're unable to get an unconditional offer and you get the scholarship, would it be taken to the next year? So it's 2 ways, right? So you have application, Chevening application is closing in November, right? So you have between now and February next year, I think, to have submitted your offers. Remember, interviews are around March, April. That's when they will call you guys for interview. And if you have started applying now, or even in November, your schools would have gotten back to you latest by January. I'm so sure UK universities are so fast with the admission processes. So latest by January or February, they would have sent their feedback. So let's now assume that all the 3 schools now gave rejection and none of the schools accepted you. You will not just fold your hands. You will start applying to other schools, because when you get to the interview, they will ask you if you want to change your chosen universities. And I think that's the only opportunity you have to change, right? So there and then you'll be able to change. Now, let's not assume that you are now able, even after your interview and all, to secure any admission. My dear, you have to lose the scholarship, because
What?
there's no way they can help you carry it over. They'll give the money to somebody else, because you have over 6 months to have secured admission. And even when you go to the interview stage, they give you an opportunity to change your schools. So it just says to them that you are not a serious person. So you have from now till February, March next year to have secured all your offers to be on a safe side. And for your last one, the recording will be sent to the group by tomorrow or next, hopefully. Right?
Janet,
So I answered your question. I see Ruby's hand up. Ruby, you want to answer?
Please reach.
I've actually had my hands up for a while. It was actually for the question of someone who was asking if their experiences have to be, I don't know if I can still answer that, or if I should just hold on since that has passed. I don't know. Janet,
Any group.
do I go ahead?
If
Okay, I'll just go ahead. So for the question of if your experiences has to be within the field you're applying for, I don't think you should limit yourself to that, because if you do that, then you might find it really difficult to come up with your 3 examples. It's great if your experiences are already in that field, but in the event that you are not, maybe it's a new field you're branching into, I believe that leadership is transferable, leadership skill is transferable, yes? So you don't have to sentence yourself to thinking that if it's not within, for example, maybe you're going into sustainability, if you have not had leadership experiences in sustainability, that means that you're not qualified. No, if you have it, great. If you don't have it, make use of what you have, as long as that experience that you have can portray your leadership skills, then I don't think that should deter you from being eligible to use those experiences, also cite them as examples in your essay. Thank you. Janet, I'm done.
Thank you, Ruby. Okay, Jarumi, please kindly mute and ask or mute.
Okay, hello, good evening. Want to thank you for this opportunity to actually listen and learn a lot. I wouldn't want to take much time. I think 2 speakers ago have addressed the point I wanted to bring up, a question concerning IELTS. So please, I will appreciate, I lost track during the presentation because I'm at work and had to attend to something. These links of schools that waive IELTS. I currently have about 4 admissions, but all of them are unconditional. And last year I missed out. I don't want to miss out this year. So please, the link can be reshared so that we can apply to some of those schools and see how we can get admission. Thank you very much.
If I hear you correctly, you said you already have 4 unconditional offers, right?
Sorry, conditional IELTS. I have to submit IELTS.
Okay, so you have to
I
ship.
sent my WAEC to them, and all the schools rejected it. They said my WAEC has to be 8 years old, and I think my WAEC was 2009.
Oh wow! So please check or somebody should please copy that list again.
Yes, let's have a link. Yes.
On the Telegram group so people can access it. Thank you.
All right.
Prince, please ask your question.
Yeah, hi, hello everyone. Good evening.
Go ahead, we can hear you.
Hello, can you hear me? All right. I'll go straight to 2 questions that I've got to ask. The first one has got to do with plagiarism and AI. I have written my 4 essays complete from, of course, scratch to finish without any AI efforts. And I'd like to ask, I've obviously passed those essays through plagiarism and AI softwares, and I do have like a premium account with one of the AI softwares. And I discovered that with using one AI software, I have like no AI plagiarism detected. Then I tried to use another software to run through my essays, and I discovered that the other software gave me some certain percentages of using AI to write my essays, and that is quite concerning to me. So I'd like to ask if that has any impact, on the essays. I'm not sure if you can help me with answering that. The second question has got to do with I think I just with the first one, then before that I'll be able to remember the second question I have to ask.
Thank you. So like we established earlier, the UK has strong softwares to detect AI. That's why we advise you guys to desist from using AI. I think the only thing we will advise you to use is Grammarly. Grammarly, I don't think it's an AI, but I think they have started introducing an AI feature into Grammarly now. But even during my time, I used Grammarly, but what I used it for was to check my English, correct my sentences and all. So if you are sure that you wrote those essays yourself, and what you did with AI was to just maybe correct your English, your errors, then I don't think you have anything to worry about. I see the last one's hand up. Maybe he wants to add to it.
Yeah, hello.
Wait, let him go.
Absolutely, yeah. So yeah, I think I understand what Prince is saying. So sometimes these generative AI or AI tools, sometimes they're not really accurate. So I understand what you're saying. So you've tried to use one, AI tool, and then another one is suggesting that you've used AI to write your essay. I mean, just like Janet said, if you're 100% sure, if you've written it, human has written it, you should be fine. Don't worry yourself too much about it. You're free to use Grammarly. You can use Grammarly to check. I mean, even some of the scholarship body recommend that you check for errors and stuff like that. What you want to avoid is using AI to write your essay, because like Jenna said, there are strong technologies in the UK to fish out all of these things, and you might just be your essay might just be eliminated even before reading it. So just be aware, be very, very conscious of using AI to write. But you don't worry yourself if one AI suggested that, oh, AI has written this, because sometimes, they might not really be accurate, really. Okay.
Okay, so thank you very much. I did
Yeah.
wrote my essay from scratch to finish, and it's my fourth time applying. I made it to the interview stage, I think my second year. This is my fourth year applying. My third year, I didn't make it to the interview stage. Obviously, I don't use AI to write. I'm a writer by nature, so I'm also a tech consultant, and I'm applying for cybersecurity. So, and
absolutely.
I have a niche for cybersecurity education and awareness. I do run my own company and private firm that's got to do with cyber safety and information security trainings, right?
Yeah.
So this is what I do. And I do hope that I use Grammarly premium account to run through my write-ups, and I feel I'm just comfortable with that, and that's fine if that's okay.
Yeah,
appreciate your time and
absolutely.
effort. Thanks again.
All the
everyone.
best, Prince. Yeah, all the best this
And
time.
please
Thank you,
help
guys.
Emmanuel. You must get it this year. Emmanuel is studying cybersecurity, so engage.
Excellent.
Bye bye. All right, next person, Abate.
Janet, we can't see your full face.
You
It's
can't see
like
me. Hey, sorry, I'm here trying to sort out all things at the same time.
okay,
That's
go ahead.
moderator. Can you guys see me better now?
Okay,
Yes.
thank
Abate,
you.
please ask your question.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. Especially Lucy is from Ethiopia. I think Ethiopian alumni are not active in sharing their experience as much as I know, but she's an example for Ethiopians alumni. So thank you very much. My question is regarding reviewing our essays. If I do want to know if there are opportunities you can review my essay. I already did it, but I need someone to review my essay. Thank you.
Yeah, just reach out to as many scholars as possible. Maybe one or two of them might be able to help you out. Okay. Sheriff.
Janet, just to add on that, I think not, I mean, scholars are not the only ones, eligible to review your essays. You can ask anyone who is a good writer or who has writing skills in the past to really see not the content but how you structure your essay in general. And you can ask as many as scholars if they have time to actually, I mean, all of us are busy with a lot of schedules as well. It could be hard to review everyone's essays, but we might be able to arrange something in the coming few weeks, hopefully.
And also, even if you don't get anybody to review your essay, it doesn't mean you will not get in. You understand? So, because even if a scholar or anybody reviews your essay, they are just giving their own opinion, and you don't know the opinion of your reviewer or the person who will end up finally assessing your Chevening essay. So, if you can follow all the prescription, we've turned to doctors, we are giving you prescription. If you can follow all the prescription, all the guidance that we are giving you, I'm sure you'll be able to come up with a good and strong essay. Okay. So, Sheriff, let's take Sheriff's question.
All right. Good evening, everyone.
Go
Can
ahead.
you hear me? Okay. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity, and thank you for your time and for the impact you all have made. Okay, a very quick one. I just have one question, and basically, it's for some of us who may be in the same position or who may be experiencing the same. Okay, for me, I actually studied in a polytech, and I studied mechanical engineering, but I work in a maritime organization. And since I started working, I've been able to do one or two maritime courses, basically. And I want to know if it's possible that I don't have a B Tech, like a bachelor in technology or a B. Is it possible for someone with with a degree or the kind of degree I have to apply, or do I need to get a conversion, or do I need to do a conversion of my degree? I just want to.
Okay, so thank you, Sheriff. Who wants to answer the question, please? Any of our scholars who wants to answer that question?
Hi, Sharif. So maybe this might help, or you can send me a private message on LinkedIn. So before Chevening, I used to work in the maritime industry for 8 years. So I just have a straight question for you, Sharif. Are you a sailor or a seafarer at the moment? Or you just work in a marine, you just work in the marine industry?
Okay, well, I was actually seafarer before I
You
went
were
to school.
there. You were a seafarer.
Yes.
Okay, so the
Yes.
good thing is that there are UK universities that take seafarers actually for, it just depends on the certificate of competencies that you have. Sorry, these are marine terms in case they don't seem familiar to anybody. It just depends on the certificate of competencies that you have. If it's able seaman or oiler or chief engineer or a master's certificate. But there are UK universities that University of the West of England, it's in the maritime city of the UK, Bristol, and there are some other UK universities that take seafarers. So it depends on the certificate of competencies, and then that can now be converted to what you use for Chevening. The most important thing is, do you have a UK university that will give you an offer of condition, right, to study in the UK? That's what Chevening is looking out for. So yes, you don't necessarily need an upgrade or anything. Seafarers, Maritime Academy, or I don't know where you did your course, right? But Maritime Academy Oron can give you a waiver that your UK university, or if you did it at Ghana Maritime, it depends on where, but you shouldn't worry about that. And there are UK universities that accept seafarers. The upgrades that you guys do, for your certifications, they are converted sort of into master's degree, or I don't know, but it's possible. I don't know if I'm rambling, but that's possible.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Ma'am Abby. Thank you. Okay, Brian. We're getting to the end.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for this opportunity. And I would like to give a round of applause to all the panelists and discussants for such a seminar and thought-provoking discussion. My question was revolves around submission of an offer letter. Well, recently I made an application to the University of Stirling to pursue an MSc in environmental management. And they gave me a conditional offer. And the only condition that I am supposed to attain is to pay a deposit of around 6,000 Great British pounds. So I was asking, how will I go about it? Am I supposed to submit the letter as it is, or I need to meet that condition? Thank you.
Anybody wants to answer, please?
Okay.
So,
Okay, so Brian, I think you should not you should not think about paying any of the deposit because first thing you should check is you should email them saying that you're applying for this certain scholarship, and tell them the progress or the timeline where you will be able to see or get a result from. And if the offer, the conditional offer is up to until the selection process is up, you can be able to say or give them the Chevening offer letter, and then they might accept. But you have to really make sure with the university when this conditional offer is going to end. If they're saying pay a deposit and unless you pay for that, we're not going to accept you, let's say, until next year, 2025, May or April, that's not going to look good for you. So you should communicate them that you're trying for a scholarship, and then you're going to hear a response regarding your scholarship outcome around this time. And after that, you can discuss the things because the sponsor is going to pay for your tuition, of course. So don't get into any financial commitment, but let them know you are trying this application and see their response. If they say that they're still not going to be up for it, you should have other university lined up who are not, offering you these kind of things. So have options, other options, because you'll be applying to other universities as well. So try to keep your options as open as possible.
Thank you, Lucy. I think the final person is Musa.
So good evening, everyone. Good evening, the host of this event. We are very thankful. So, though I'm a recent graduate, so I want to ask, what is the required number of years of experience to apply for this scholarship? That's one. And secondly, what are those necessary documents or documentation to apply for this scholarship?
Okay, those are information that you can get online. But let me see how I can help because I'm a bit distracted. But majorly what you need is to have graduated from a university, your transcript, your university certificate, your international passport, and all of those. I mean, you don't need to have it now, but you should have it before your interview in March, right? But just
All right,
what
all
you
right.
should be focusing on right now is how to submit a very strong application, right? And when for the work
All right.
I think it's 2,800 hours that they're asking for, which is equivalent to about 2 years
Okay.
of work experience. I'm not sure. So when you're doing the calculation, when you
All
are
right.
uploading your work experience on the
How about in the case?
portal, it will calculate it for you. You want to ask a
Oh, okay, I've gotten that. I've gotten that. I've gotten that.
okay, so you're clear, yeah?
Thank you.
All
Yeah, I'm
right,
clear. Thank you very much.
you're welcome. Um, one more person, Oluwatomi.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for this session. Thank you for the enlightenment. So I have 3 questions. I'll just be very brief about it. So I am interested in studying international business, fashion business management, because I want to help fashion SMEs in Nigeria to scale, because I'm seeing the gap between fashion industries in other country and that of my country, right? So first off, must I for my reference, talking about my reference, must it be from a professor in my university, or I can just go with my career mentor who has an NGO that is focused on establishing startups? Okay, then secondly, between my choices of universities, I actually chose international fashion business management in Manchester Metropolitan University. So I want to know, for the other 2 choices, can I go with finance and management? That is courses that are not necessarily fashion management, but also business management related. Then my final question, I just graduated in May from the University of Ibadan, and usually our transcript takes a lot of time. How do I navigate that, knowing fully well that I must provide my transcripts upon my interview in March next year if I'm selected? Thank you.
Okay, who wants to answer? Any
I
of
can go ahead, Janet.
Okay.
Okay, let me touch upon the things she raised, and then if anyone has more things to add. So I think on the last part you said you graduated around May. Is this May or like the previous May?
I graduated May this year, 2024.
Oh, so you have like 4 months of work experience. 4 or 5,
Yes, and
right?
I've volunteered overtime, and
Mm,
I worked during strike period as well.
mm. So as far as I'm concerned, Chevening does not say you have to work full time or something. It can be part-time or volunteer, but they want a concrete evidence that you have had experience on something that you will be studying on. At least you need to have some. I don't know if Janet or others can correct me if she is eligible to apply because she graduated on May 2024. But let's jump on that and let me answer these questions and the others would give their feedback. So on the reference part, are you talking about your Chevening reference or your university reference? Let me describe both. For Chevening references, you will have to provide both an educational and one professional reference. For your education, as you said, it could be your professor, someone who lectured you, or someone you know within your university that is well known or well established within some certain things that they do. And for the NGO or for the organization, for me personally, it would be preferable if it's someone um, that you can capitalize on in terms of what you want to study on. For me, I had my reference for my previous boss, who was really an influential economist that many people know. He was my boss, and I was doing most of the work that I am learning today, so I could really relate. So he could write me a reference that I am a good fit to get the scholarship to work on this specific area. So I think that's better. But for the university references, it depends. Some might not ask you a reference. Some might ask you only a work experience. A work reference. Some only might ask you like your educational reference. So the universities one depend case by case. So it would be good for you to choose for your work experience somehow. But otherwise, if you can't get anyone, then make it someone more who is well known and have a bit of a higher position in a certain work that they do. Regarding the university choice, I think it could be a little bit tricky for you to say, let's say, on your career plan, you're probably going to write about working on different fashion startups to help them, manage their activities and everything. So it's probably going to be a lot more about fashion. So I would personally advise you for your universities to have some fashion topic within them, like or a fashion management. They could have somehow different titles, but the content somehow has to be similar for me. But if you really don't have any other university choices, maybe your argument has to be very strong. Let's say you choose a second university that talks about international management, but in that course you might find something like dig on what the course contents or who the teachers are, and you might find some familiarities in the fashion industry or in let's say in a retail business or something like that. So even though that title doesn't have fashion in it, at least try to find a content that you can capitalize on.
All right,
Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Yeah, to
I hope
add to
thank you
what
so
Lucy said. So Tommy,
okay.
you want to be clear on if it's the business side, you want to focus on, or the sustainability side of fashion. You understand? So from a glance, we want your reviewer to be able to understand what you want to do. Not like you said something else in your first, remember you're studying in the UK, you have to break down why you want to study the course module. So really research on the course modules if it's really aligning with what you want to do. All the courses don't have to sound the same, but ensure that they are very, very close. You understand? So I believe then for the question on reference, I think Lucy answered that. Well, I will just add for your referencing, remember you are submitting 2 references, right? So we usually advise that one is from education and another is from your work, somebody that can attest to your work experiences, and another person that can attest to your educational side. And there was something else you asked that I wanted. Yes, your transcripts. I remember the first time I applied in 2021. I just finished from school 2019, and 2020 there was COVID. Schools were not open, but I had to look for a way, corner. I even had to pay money to ensure that I get my transcript. So if you are sure you want to get Chevening this year, just find by all means to see how that you can get your transcript. I believe we've answered your question.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm so grateful.
You're welcome. I still
Janet, but
Hi,
can
Janet.
oh sorry.
Who's speaking?
Yeah,
It's me, Lucy.
I just wanted to add
Oh,
say that
Abigail.
yeah, sorry. I wanted to add to say that I know that it's important that we all want to get a scholarship or want to leave our countries. We want to get this. I tell people most often than not, if your examples, your work experience, or you just graduated is not enough, to give you that banging application, by all means, wait it out. I know it's easier said than done, and I know that what I'm saying a lot of people may not like to hear, but you'll be surprised that people have applied 3, 4, 5, 6 years, haven't gotten it because they haven't been able to wait it out, right? And so what I'm saying in essence is, if you think you do not have that much experience or things are not aligning with what you want to study or your course or where you are currently in your career path or the plans for your life, you can wait it out till the next year. It gives you an opportunity to build yourself so that when you now have the opportunity to apply again, you have something rich enough that is able to convince Chevening that you are worth getting this scholarship. So I just wanted to put that out there. So
Okay.
don't be in a hurry.
Mhm.
Don't be in a hurry.
I totally agree. And me, I'm grateful that I had to even wait 3 years to get it because now I'm a better person. It was not what I wanted to do before that I'm now doing now. So you will get clarity when you have to wait. And guess what? I've known about Chevening since like 2019 in my final year in school. But I had to wait to get the relevant experience and build myself till now. Thank you so much, Miss Abby. Oh, Lucy, still want to say something, or Blessing should go first?
No, I think Abby already addressed the thing I wanted to address. Thank you.
Okay, Blessing, please. Your hand is up. You want to say something?
Yeah. Hi everyone. Sorry, I just wanted to stress on what Lucy had said earlier about the work experience as well as the last panelist. I also know someone, for those of you who maybe probably just finished school, if you have started working maybe from your year 1 as a volunteer or something, there are volunteer hours that you may have put to work, and then you have something to tell, and you know that you actually really worked. Because I know that, like, from my second year in school, I started working with an NGO as a volunteer, and by the time I was done with school, I had built like if you say half of 40 is 20. So then after school, I had like plus 1 year, and I was able to add that as my work experience. I know someone who also got Chevening. I didn't get Chevening actually that first time, obviously, but I did have the work experience, if it's work experience actually. I know someone, a colleague of mine, who finished school this year and then got Chevening because she has started volunteering from year 1, and then she had all of that experience, to sell. So I just wanted to add that if you know that while you were in school, you were doing a part-time job somewhere, and then you have proof of the work you have done, then sure, maybe your work experience can match up, to the number of hours that they are looking for. But if not, then like they have advised, maybe you can just wait maybe for the like 1 more year or 2 more years so that you can build that relevant work experience, because it's a necessity for the for the Chevening scholarship. So that's just what I wanted to add.
Thank you. Thank you very
Janet, your mic is muted.
I've said a lot if you didn't hear me. Okay, I said that we are so generous. We've spent over close to 3 hours speaking to you guys. We've tried. So any other question should be sent to the Telegram group and we will attend to them. But because I'm a nice person, let me allow Oluwatoyin say something. Think he or she has a question. I can see the person's hand, but I don't know, but Oluwatoyin, can you speak now?
Good evening. I'm
Okay.
so very grateful. I know I reached my hand at the last minute. Thank you very much. So, my question is related to the 3 courses I have chosen. So, I applied to University of East Anglia last year to study education and development. I also applied to Chevening. I applied to the University of East Anglia under Alex and Mr. Ferguson scholarship, but I didn't get it. I also applied to Chevening, and the courses I applied for Chevening has to do with technology and education, technology enhanced learning, everything that has to do with technology and education. So now that I have like an offer, a because I applied for I deferred my admission rather to next year, 2025. So I am wondering if I can include education and development and 2 others from the university I chose last year for achievement, which are courses on education and technology, because I think they are kind of related. I just wanted to confirm if I can combine the 3. Thank you.
What are the 3 courses again?
Yes, so the first one from the University of Bristol is technology enhanced learning, and another one from Huddersfield about technology and education. Then from University of East Anglia, education and development. Does not necessarily mention technology, but the development is it's just education and development. So I'm wondering if I can combine the 3.
Yeah, I think you can. Yeah, sure, you can. You can. They are all in the education field, so it's clear.
Yeah, and just as Janet said, try on like just don't focus on the title of the course, but try to build your argument on the content. Let it have a flow from the 3 universities. I know the titles may be different, but the things you want out of this 3 is going to be more or less similar. So try to show that, and I think that will be okay.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much once again, everyone. I'm so grateful. Please forgive me for taking your time. Forgive me. It's almost 3 hours. I'm so grateful. Thank you, Lucy, Ruby, Emmanuel, Victory, Delatpo, Abigail. Thank you so, so much. I'm grateful. If you're on this call and you are not on the Telegram group, please join the Telegram group. Like that Telegram group is so rich. Everything you need to get this scholarship is on that Telegram group. And like I said, this recording, I'll try and upload it and send the link to the Telegram group so you guys can rewatch it again. And even from other sessions, you guys can still rewatch it. Okay. All right. So does anyone wants to say an appreciation on behalf of all of you? You want to thank us because I like doing that for all of my sessions with you guys. You guys know. So I think Michael is like your class captain here. Who wants to appreciate all our scholars and alumni for taking out time to mentor you today? Just raise your hand and I'll allow you to speak. And some of us can type in the comments. Tomilola wants to say thank you to us. Be putting your thank you in the comments. Let me be seeing it too.
All right. Hello, everyone, once again. So, on behalf of my fellow aspiring Chevening scholars, I want to say a very big thank you to the alumni in the house. Thank you so much for the current Chevening scholars. Thank you for the time. I mean, it's almost 3 hours, and you guys are just dishing out wisdom. I almost wrote like 5 pages here, and you're not tired. Thank you so much. Thank you. I mean, we have a clearer picture, like Bakari just said. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Because I like hearing thank yous, let me allow Dr. Rebecca thank us again.
Thank you so much. In fact, these sections have been so wholesome. I have learned a whole lot of things, and thank you for creating out time. I was just thinking, like, these people are practically sacrificing their time for us, giving us, trying to see that we succeed to be like them. This is commendable to me. I am very, very much impressed. Thank you, and God bless every one of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And finally, I'd like us to turn on our videos. Let me see if I can take a screenshot and post. Okay? So please, if you can turn your video, just smile. That your beautiful smile. I want to take a screenshot of this session. Just smile. I see fine people. Hey, don't worry. If you apply all these tips that we've given you, by this time next year, you'll be in the UK. Just apply everything we've said tonight. So I want to take a screenshot. Are we ready? Hey, see Rebecca. Oh, see my Uganda scholar. Hi, Rebecca. Thank you for joining. I'm seeing my friends on the call. I'm just seeing you guys now. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you, everyone. So let me take a screenshot on your video and shine your teeth. Are we ready? What am I even pressing? See me, I'm laughing. Okay, so Chevening. All right, let me take the final one. Bye, everyone. Good night. You're going to get the recording. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Janet, you're going to get a good night's sleep with all these things. Like,